as it is natural for someone who has been associated with this party, as you said, from the last 2 generations, with my father, from my father's time to my time, severing ties with such a long association it was a tough call. But in my own words, and please allow me to reiterate the same here on your show, that it was a question more about my elastic limit snapping. And the reason for that was that this general, not even general, there's a complete decline in the relevance of the party anymore. In fact, probably I'm one, so many people have left, in fact, before me. A lot of my friends or former colleagues have even asked me that how come you have stayed on for so long? And with the context to Manipur, which the state to which I belong, it became even more pertinent that the whole drama which was being played out especially by the leadership and more so by Rahul Gandhi and others became very, very hollow to my mind, and it was lacking that, sense of purpose, and of course the general decline about the whole concept of the Congress not being able to even give a semblance of being an opposition in the country, and the whole breaking down of the India alliance and the belligerents and the whole so-called, so many layers to it. But yes, it was a personal call, and I was deeply humiliated by the party. I think there's been a very general, disintegrating process which is already going on, and I think it's on a very self-destructive mode already. And to my mind, I think I use the word the sinking ship as well, that it has to, in order to be able to reorganize and reinvent itself, it has to have a particular vision as well as some figure to look up to. And I don't see that happening in the country. I was left out in the hot sun for 3 hours. It's no problem. It was all right. I waited, and by the time my turn came, which was after 3 hours. 3 hours. I was the speaker of an assembly. I was an important person in the state, and I wanted to congratulate him. I wanted to be with him. And can you imagine the apathy? When I finally reached Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and he was standing, he didn't even ask me to sit. He seemed to be in a very, in a rush and in a hurry, and I was not even offered a seat. And he was clueless who I was. He was clueless, I'm telling you. I'm not saying this, Rahul Gandhi may not remember this, but I remember it. But we shook hands, and he says, and it didn't even take 10 seconds, He said, okay. The body language was that, everything is okay. At least I had expected, after waiting for 3 hours, I had expected that I should be offered a seat. I should be at least offered a glass of water, if not a cup of tea. And then said, blah, blah. He didn't have a clue. I don't blame Mr. Rahul Gandhi for that. The whole system had crumbled. If I'm coming to your studio, you got to know who I am. If you're going to interview me, you got to know what are you going to ask. These people didn't have any clue who I was, what I was. It is the people who are manning his gate should have known who's meeting you, who's meeting not. But before leaving, I told Mr. Rahul Gandhi, which he will not remember. I said, Rahulji, at least you cannot call the entire country at 8 o'clock. I was made to wait for 3 hours. That's okay with us. But we are within the party, we can endure it. But there were people from Maharashtra, there were people all over the country. There was a young journalist who was given time at the same time. You cannot call in the entire country at 8 o'clock. You have to call somebody at 8 o'clock. You have to call somebody at 8:01, 8:02, 8:03, 8:04. Give your time. Every 1 minute, 30 seconds, 40 seconds is important. And that was the kind of high they had. It was the kind of attitude they had. And I knew from that day. I had never gone to meet him after that. Manipur requires healing. Manipur doesn't require politics at this point of time. Yes, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi came for the first time as a first responder, we welcomed it. We welcomed it. I was one of the people who walked with him shoulder to shoulder. I took tear gas shells with him together. That was also a phase. But by the time the Manipur violence continued, the troubles are still not resolved even at this stage, at this point of time. But when Mr. Rahul Gandhi came again for the second time, and we are talking about displaced people living in subhuman conditions in relief camps. Manipur, about, I don't have to tell you about Manipur, the present crisis. And that was not a good time for people to come and do politics over all these issues. And then I said, please, it's okay, the Naya Yatra is okay, and then it's going to be looking like for political purposes. The Lok Sabha is just around the corner, and doing this in Manipur is not going to send a good signal. And it flopped in Manipur, frankly speaking. The Congress party never was keen. They never was interested. What was wrong with Mr. Shashi Tharoor? He is such an excellent person. He was the new face, he was a vibrant face, but they decided for an 80-plus-year-old Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. Kharge ji, I have the deepest regard. He was my minister, he was a labor minister, he was a railway minister. As a youngster, I used to look up to him. But Kharge ji is out of sync now. He's not anymore that person, a person like you and me can look forward for the next 20, 25 years. So I'm talking about this general malaise, this general, degradation in the party, which was not rectified, and I'm not looking at, I don't see it at least happening even now. So that is the reason why I think everybody is leaving it. There was a time when there was a clamor for Congress tickets. When I was contesting for the first time, there was so many people who had applied for the Congress ticket. There was a clamor for Congress ticket, Congress ticket, Congress ticket. There is nobody. I'm telling you, I'll give you an example of Manipur itself. The Manipur Congress was not able to find a candidate within its cadres, within its people. The gentleman who was our chief minister for 15 years, he's still an MLA, he's a seasoned old leader of the Congress party. He could not, in the first place, offer himself as a credible candidate, nor bring out a credible, at least one of those MLAs among them to fight the election, or even somebody credible to from the party itself. But they had to go and import somebody. They had to look for someone who had no connection with the Congress party from anywhere, and request him to come and contest for the Congress party. If that is the case, if you are not able to not even find a candidate to contest for you from within your cadre, from within the pool of leaders, from within the available people within your party, where are you headed for? Where are you leading? What happened to the India alliance? What happened? How are you going to convince the people? See, it's all about democracy. Is all about convincing the masses also. Where is the sink? And if you already have taken a very on a high pedestal kind of thing that मैं तो यहाँ बैठा हूँ, and you all are it doesn't work. Even simple things like the yatra, or even seat sharing issues in the state. Who's going to believe you? Who's going to believe you? In fact, he was busy doing this Bharat Nyaya Yatra, and in between he went to Cambridge. You remember? He went for a Cambridge lecture. And what was that? And then that is the time when in the war room, at least when you are going for elections, you have got to strategize, you got to work out, you have to work out Bihar mein kya hona hai, Uttar Pradesh mein kya hona hai. There has to be all that thinking process, and if it is whatever you may say, it is still centered around Rahul Gandhi. And if Rahul Gandhi is there in the war room, he's there to direct things. You have to have this chain of command. He is busy doing his road show in some air-conditioned bus, and then here you are left with all these people who are not grounded and who are supposed to be strategizing, who are supposed to be doing all these. Elections are not things which are ad hoc, quick fixes. It is a serious business. So when a party like the Congress party, my ex-party, I'd say, that it doesn't involve itself in this exercise, then where is the survival? Obviously people will see. Today I'll tell you, the people of India today, even from the commonest people, the young generation of voters, they are very, very, very They are very wise now. They probably can teach us 10 times more. They know who are the people committed. They know who are the people who are, who can feel our pulse. So that probably, to my mind, the Congress party, at least till now, is going and not been able to do, and it is still going down.